Well, tensions persist in the UK as police and protesters clashed again in Northern Ireland's Londonderry during an annual march for the 1689 siege of Derry. Petrol bombs, fireworks and heavy masonry were thrown during the protest, injuring over 10 officers. A total of 20 officers were hurt in the police operations. The violent scenes in the city follow similar night protests in Belfast, where Muslim businesses were burnt down. Houses were targeted in what the police called was racially motivated. UK has been rocked by violent protests since the knife attack in Southport, northwest England in July, in which 3 children were killed. Far-right protesters have looted stores, stormed hotels, housing asylum seekers, injuring dozens. As rioting and disorder continue in the city, up to 15,000 people took part in the peaceful anti-racism protests. Besides Belfast, London, Glasgow and numerous other towns and cities in UK saw crowds massing to protest the disorder blamed on the far-right anti-immigrant protesters. Misinformation on social media has linked the attack to Muslim immigrants. Meanwhile, mourners paid tribute to Alice De Silva, one of the victims of the July 29th stabbing. Speaking at the funeral, the Chief Constable of Police said that the family does not want any more violence in the name of their daughter.
I'm ashamed and I'm so sorry that you've had to even consider this in the planning of the funeral of your beautiful daughter, Alice. And I hope that anyone who has taken part in the violent disorder on our streets over the past 13 days is hanging their heads in shame at the pain that they have caused you, a grieving family.
Meanwhile, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has changed his holiday plans to closely monitor his government's response to the far-right unrest. And earlier we spoke to writer and political commentator Adam Schwartz from London to get us the very latest on how the far-right protests have affected immigration and immigration policies and, of course, attacks on the immigrant population.
I mean, clearly that was the intention of far-right rioters, when they put out or reacted some of this disinformation about the nature of the suspect involved in this horrific tragedy. I think for me personally, I don't think that when a time when we have minorities and people of colour across the society being terrified for their safety because of these riots, that is an appropriate time to be kind of discussing immigration and the composition of society. I think we can't reward this kind of racist violence with some kind of policy reaction that tries to address their concerns. I think there are ways to kind of deal with these larger issues, but certainly that has to be done sensitively and not, in responding to some kind of racist violence. I think there are clearly general problems in society to do with social cohesion, which I think can be addressed. But I think certainly, it would be inappropriate for the government to try to kind of give in to what these rioters want, which really is not aligned with the general British public, which is to stop all immigration, essentially.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.